Yeah, we just had like a little family vacation over the weekend,
Yeah.
so that was
What'd you
fun.
guys do? You guys went to a
Kind of like,
cabin, right?
dang it, it just worked out. I feel like yeah, we went to a cabin. It was Charlie's birthday, so this year we've been doing experiences for birthdays instead of gifts. So
Oh, I dig that.
we went and got a cabin. My parents came down, and my sister and her husband, and um, Heather's mom came and brought our niece from her her brother's side. So
Got
bunch
the
of
whole crew
kids.
there.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I bet it was,
Oh
dude.
man, it was wild. They had a blast. So
Heck
like at
yeah.
the end of the weekend, kind of asked them like, what was your favorite part, and it was always something that had to do with the other kids being around. So it
That's rank.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah, getting to have the family that close and being able to enjoy experiences like that. I like that experiences over gifts is freaking cool, dude. That
Dude,
teaches
it's
them a
it's
lot
been
more about
really
life.
cool. Yeah, and like we still get them something. Yeah, we still get them something, but it has to do with the experience. So like it's a souvenir. So like we went to what did we do? We went to Bass Pro in Springfield, which is like the original Bass Pro, and then we went to the zoo. And so like we got Charlie a gift, but it came from what we did. So it's like more
Mm-hmm.
of like a memory thing. It's tied
Mm-hmm.
to the experience that we did. So
No, that's awesome. I
yeah,
freaking
it's
love
been
that.
cool.
Love that, dude. I just been cutting firewood all weekend.
Man, yeah, I seen that, man. Been I miss it. Like we used to have a fireplace and I used to chop firewood, and like I miss that. And I was so jealous when I saw you cutting firewood like all week, and I was like, "Oh man. Like I can't wait to have a fireplace again.
It is.
If
It's
I
like
just
one of
chopped wood
those
now, I'd just
things.
be stacking up."
Yeah. It's one of those things that feels good to like do and get done because you're like, I'm going to use this. I feel like I'm getting a second workout
Mhm.
in for the day, and it's awesome. But also on the other side, that shit burns really fast and it goes away really fast. I feel like my winter is never going to
Mhm.
stop with chopping wood.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's like one of our core like needs as humans, especially as men, is like the need for being useful. And
Yeah.
chopping firewood is like just one of those small ways to provide. You're providing warmth, and
Hmm.
so it's like the whole process of it is really rewarding. Like from chopping it into building the fire, and then the finished product. Like when the house is warm, and you're like, yeah, sit back with a
I did
glass of whiskey and enjoy the
that.
warm air in the cold winter, and it's like this is what it's about right here.
Heck yeah. I definitely agree with that, man. I like that you said like the system of it. And we talk about falling in love with the system or the process all the time with workouts, but it's really with anything in life. If you can look past the I don't want to part and fall in love with the
Mm-hmm.
doing A and B and C, and that leads to this awesome result of, whether it's having firewood to burn or having a jacked physique or winning a world title, like you just got to fall in love with the
Mm-hmm.
whole process and the system. And I was talking with a client today, and she, man, she had been so consistent for probably like 16 weeks, 4 or 5 months, just not missing a day, four days a week, crushing it. And she kind of went through this little hiatus of not going backwards, but definitely not working out near as much as she used to, kind of off schedule, not prioritizing her needs over work's needs. There was a lot of things that started happening, and I think that happens a lot in fitness, but especially around like the holidays. It's really hard to go into the holidays in a place where you're trying to change. Going into the holidays in a place where you already have good systems and processes in place is the best tool you can have in the toolbox when it comes to staying on track or, balancing having fun and enjoying family with staying in your routine. So I thought today we could talk
Mm-hmm.
about the holidays coming up, which are just approaching faster and faster each day. It's nuts. Every day goes by quicker, I swear. But it's got to be on people's minds. So let's
Oh, I know. It's like, how did we? It's already November. How did we get here? Like, how
exactly,
did
dude.
2023 come by this fast?
Exactly. It's
But no, this is a
it's
good topic. I
terrifying.
like this because I just sat down with my coach. Yeah, I just sat down with my coach last week and kind of built our holiday plan because I don't know if our listeners know, they've maybe gathered from the last few episodes, but our fall season is like super busy. Like we've got lots of clinics, we got the NFR, we're just going to be on the road a lot. And so I sat down with my coach and we mapped out the days, like the travel days of like, a workout isn't just not going to happen on these days. And then we went back through and we're like, okay, so what is going to be attainable? It's like, well, half of it's probably going to be a hotel. Half of my next 2 months is going to be stayed in a hotel, or, and when I am home, family is going to be the priority. So it's like, okay, how do we navigate through this so that we still can at least maintain our fitness in this time? Maybe not, we're not going to make huge progress, but we're at least going to maintain. And, the all the mental benefits that come from exercise as well, like we can still harvest those. So yeah, I really like this topic. I think this is going to be really insightful, especially during this season for people.
Heck yeah, dude. And I like the very first thing you talked about. It's like time constraints, like going to be on the road, going to be busy. Everyone's going to be traveling.
Mm-hmm.
How do you work around that? How do you what do you have to do to stay consistent? And you have already talked about it a little right there. Is you got to plan ahead. You've got to look at your travel schedule, look at the activities that you're going to be doing during your travel, and say, hey, this is real life, and this is where I'm going to have time to get a little movement in, whether it's 20 minutes of mobility in the hotel room, whether it's going to the hotel gym, or we have a couple days that we're staying in place. I actually get to go to a gym. I would highly recommend writing that out somewhere, writing down, as much as we don't want to schedule during the holidays, man, it's good to have the check marks and have it in front of your face. And this is what we're doing. And maybe everything else is a question mark for the day, but those 2 or 3 things that you need to do to keep your own well-being at a baseline, is what you need to write down for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the holidays kind of present 2 different scenarios. Like, one, they can either be really daunting for people when it comes to their fitness, or 2, it can be really motivating. Like, you're like, okay, I know I'm going to be seeing family. Like, I want to maintain my goals. I don't want to fall off the quote unquote wagon, because I want to be able to kind of, maybe not so much from a prideful, maybe it is from a prideful standpoint. Like, I kind of want to show off a little bit. Like, I want to feel my best, and I want my family to know that I'm doing well and everything's going well. And so I think it kind of comes in those 2 scenarios, and mine is usually the former. It's usually more daunting because we travel a lot during the holidays. Heather's family's in Little Rock, Arkansas. My family's up close to Chicago. So no matter what holiday it is, we're traveling somewhere, you know? And so it's usually really daunting for me. And so my main priority when it comes to the holidays is to maintain. Like, I don't want to regress. That's really my only goal. And so I think if you're one of these people that you are going to be traveling, or you are going to be busy, come into it with that mindset. Like, you don't have to make crazy progress right now. We just got to make sure that we don't go backwards. And that's it. And that can be pretty simple.
Yeah. And it can get hard for someone, especially that has been in a routine for a long time. They probably get this mindset. I used to get like this is, the holidays are here, and it's not that you're dreading the holidays, you're dreading getting knocked out of your routine. So it's like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this or that. I'm not going to be able to train for an hour a day. Well, if you go into it and have it planned out, I've got 20 minutes, 30 minutes here each day, and I know that's how it's going to be. You set a realistic expectation, a realistic goal for yourself. It'll feel a lot better to get those goals and those check marks done, even though it's not your full workout or whatever. On the other side of things, there's a lot of people that are seeing, or talk about New Year's resolutions, right? They want to get ahead of these quote unquote New Year's resolutions, get ahead of the holiday push when it comes to weight loss, feeling better, longevity, health, whatever it is. I talked with a lady the other day, and it made me laugh a little bit. First of all, because the Whole30 is a great diet, like a great thing for a lot of people, but it's not 30 days. It's more like 90 days, because the 30 days is just the part where you're getting rid of all the foods. And then you have to take another extended amount of time to add the food. To add the foods back in. So this lady was saying that she was going to start Whole30 before Thanksgiving. And I was like, that's a terrible idea. Like, what if why would you do that right now? You're going to be put in tons of positions where it's not going to be realistic to do the Whole30. And then she's like, it's only 30 days, and I'll be done right before Christmas. And I said, but it's not just 30 days, it's 90 days or something like that, you know? So it's just something that was in the marketing of it that gets people like, this is a 30-day obligation.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like a 3-month obligation to do it correctly. So going into,
Yeah.
you know, these elimination diets or really, really strict dieting right before the holidays, especially if you've never done something like that, probably not going to be the best outcome for you. You know, I would make sure that you have the correct
Mm-hmm.
mindset. You're setting attainable goals for yourself going into the holidays rather than, uh, I don't know. We always have that tendency to just go to the extreme. Just do the extreme. I'm eating, you know, I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
eat for 5 days, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like Whole30 is a great diet too, and I
It
hate the
is.
word diet, but like because Whole30 really is more of a lifestyle. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know, some of these other like fad diets, like you know the Atkins diet, keto diet, carnivore, vegan, like those are hard to live as a full blown lifestyle. Whereas like Whole30 is like that's really probably how we all should be eating, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But the I try to lean on that, but you know, at the same time, I'm not a zealot in any way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna enjoy foods that I actually like too, even if they're not good for me. So, um, yeah, that's a tough one to start during this time because there's a learning curve that goes along with that too. I would say any
Yeah.
fad diet really. Um,
Yeah.
there's definitely a long learning curve, but
And like total transparency,
yeah. So.
my wife is doing a Whole30 right now. Um, and
Mhm.
it's tough. It's hard to stay with those foods, but I will say I've been eating probably 80% Whole30 and 20% Cheez-Its. But I do feel better.
Mhm. I mean,
Uh,
you eat really close to that anyway. Like you
yeah,
even eat way better than I do. Like you eat pretty dang close to that. Even you know just
I
left you
try
no
to.
places. So, um, yeah,
I definitely try to. But
that's
what I would
good.
say
But
for someone that is like wanting to get a jump start on their health or working out or their diet during this time, I would just say just start smaller. Like at, you know, we talk about hand portions. Like if you're
mm-hmm.
nutritionally have goals to like better how you eat, I would start with protein, 2 palms of protein a meal, 2 cupped handfuls of carbs, and 2 thumbs worth of fats. Do that 3 times a day. Start nailing that down. You know, you can go to parties, you can go to get-togethers where there's lots of food available, and you can be aware of what you're eating rather than just um, you know, they have it with like social drinkers, right? I think that social eating is a thing as well, like where you're just kind of eating not thinking. It's in front of you, you're talking, you're having a good
Mm-hmm.
time, and all of a sudden you've eaten a bunch of stuff that doesn't make you feel very good. So I would just say maybe just don't go with the elimination diets if you've never done one immediately, but having that mindset and having those
Mm-hmm.
goals is going to be really important.
Yeah, mindset's huge. You know, kind of like I alluded to earlier, is like you don't want to overreach during this time. Um, setting like that a realistic expectation of what is going to be able to happen. And like I said, for me, like right now, that's not very high. Like I'm going to probably work out less in these next couple months than I
Mm-hmm.
have in the last several years. And so like knowing that is also adding a little bit of stress into my head. And it's like, okay, like it's going to be okay. Like we're going to be fine. Like nothing's going to go off the rails. And for people that have been listening for a little while, like, you know, I've just completed my first weightlifting competition. So like, you know, that was like a fresh thing and it was really enjoyable. And I was like, oh yeah, I want to do that again. And I had to come to the terms that like during these next few months, like that's just, I'm not going to make any progress there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just I'm going to have to try and maintain as best I can, but like there's not going to be progress made. And so coming off of a high of a competition like that, I automatically want to set the bar high. You know, I want to
Mm-hmm.
like say like, oh, I want to, you know, smash my records each week and, you know, keep lifting heavier each week, but that's just not going to happen. And so
Yeah.
setting a little bit more realistic goals. And so, like I said, for me, like when I sat down with my coach, that was like 30-minute workouts, no more than 30 minutes. If I miss one, no big deal. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to be do what you can during this time. Like try not to slide backwards, just maintain. Um, and so when it comes to your mindset, like just try to and write these things down. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
don't set a goal in your head and expect it to happen. Make sure you write it down and kind of come up with at least a little bit of a game plan, because you know at the end of the day, that's really what's going to carry you through. I had this talk with Heather the other day about like her own fitness goals, and it's like the checklist thing. And I've talked about it before on here. Is like having that where you can check mark your days off, like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I completed the tasks, or no, I did not complete the task. Because if you don't have that and you skip, you make excuses for 6 days in a row, on day 7, like, it's like, oh, no big deal, because there's no visual reminder.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have that visual reminder, you skip 2 days and you're like, oh, like,
Yeah.
I need to probably get back to it, because then there's like a tangible thing that you could look at. But yeah, as far as mindset goes, I think just being realistic, try not to overreach, and setting your goal, or writing your goals down, are
Mm-hmm.
huge steps that you could take.
Heck yeah. What about like activity wise? So we just talked about like not being able to exercise, how we normally would, or the length of the sessions are going to be different. Hell, maybe we don't have any equipment. What are some ways that you've been telling clients to incorporate activity into their daily life, while they're on the road or while they're traveling to family or during the holidays?
Yeah, I mean, kind of along the same lines, like my own personal example, like, keep it short.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, like, I'm capping myself at 30 minutes right now for the next couple months, like 30 minutes a day, and that's not every day. That's those travel days I've already marked down, so I already know that it's not going to happen on those days. Maybe I'll get a little bit of, mobility, or like some type of yoga in or something, but I'm not gonna try and shoot for longer than that, because I'm gonna be fighting my own head at that point, because the
Mm-hmm.
whole psychology around it is, if you don't complete what you think or what you say you're going to complete, then you kind of start doubting yourself. So
Yeah.
setting that bar just a little bit lower, keeping it short. And there's plenty of things that you can do with body weight and bands. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't think I'll carry anything with me on any of the trips that we'll go on, other than the two things that go with me on every trip is one small resistance band and a lacrosse ball. So like, I
Mm-hmm.
can kind of, work on, a little bit of like fascia stuff, or myofascial release stuff, if I'm getting sore while I'm traveling, and then the band just to kind of keep me, you know, keep the gears greased, I guess, so to speak.
Yep.
After a long day of travel, like, you kind of get, slumped forward and shoulders get a little
Mm-hmm.
upset at you. I love to keep a band in my backpack no matter where I go. So those are the things I'm going to carry with me. And then if I have a hotel gym, great. If I don't, no problem. We'll stick to something body weight. We'll make adjustments. Um, and I think another thing would be like, don't underestimate walking. Like, you can
Dude, yeah, that's what
incorporate
I
a
was
lot
gonna
of
say.
physical activity into your family traditions, your holiday traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something that my always happens anytime there was a gathering at my grandma's house. Growing up, my family was huge on my mom's side, like 100 plus people every single holiday. We'd gather at her house, and afterwards, almost everybody, at least 50%, probably more than that, we'd all go for a walk afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's a great way to kind of let the turkey digest a little bit. You can, if it's nice outside, you can bundle up and go for a walk, and incorporate some physical activity into your tradition. And so then it's not, there's no pressure, because you're just going for a walk. Like, so it's not like you're having to make it to the gym on Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
night, or the morning after, or anything like that. You're just going for a walk. And I think walking is probably like one of the most underrated forms of activity for just almost any goal, really, honestly. But definitely during these times, utilizing walking can be huge.
Absolutely, man. That's what I was gonna say. Is my tip to everybody is get out there and walk if you don't have time for anything else. Especially if there's sun shining,
Mm-hmm.
get some of that sunlight. Get out there walking. Man, walking is so underutilized and underestimated as a activity for just well being. Get out there and moving, and we're not talking about athletes here. We're just talking
Mm-hmm.
about just people, just wanting to live and feel good. Walking is awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
truth be told, like I almost wanted to make a prerequisite if you've never trained with us to show that you are committed is walking 10,000 steps a day for 2 weeks. Can you do it? Because I'll tell you what, right now, it's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. 10,000 steps is a lot of steps, and you have to
No.
be super intentional about it. So I've had a couple clients, I had
Yep.
that little challenge with them when they're having trouble with accountability. Is like, okay, this is the most easy thing in the world. You have to plan it, though. You have to do it. And like intentionally say, I'm going to get this many steps this walk and go, 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 or else it ain't happening. It's hard, but something that simple
Mm-hmm.
can go a long, long way. And 10,000 steps is, you're actually going to see changes in yourself for sure. Getting that in each day.
For real. Yeah, for real. You really will, especially if your goal is weight loss. You know, everybody's going to be a little bit different, but I noticed for me, you know, doing 45 minutes of walking, for me, that's about 6,500 to 7,500 steps according to my Apple Watch. So, you know, it's not 100% accurate, but, you know, close enough for at least me to track trends. If I do that every day, I start losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to adjust my macros. Like I have to eat more to make sure I don't lose too much weight. So yeah, even something as simple as a 45-minute walk or 30-minute walk, or shoot, man, even a 15-minute walk. Like if you're busy, like just get out and walk, because
Just go.
I know with what we do, like, you know, sometimes getting out and doing physical activity is, or not physical activity, because my workout is always, my gym's right behind me. Like it's always at the forefront of what I'm thinking and doing every day. But like actually taking, like, just walking is often an afterthought. And so I have to kind of be, not kind of, I have to really be intentional if I'm going to set a goal for 10,000 steps a day. And I can count maybe on one hand in the last 30 days how many times I've gotten 10,000 steps. So it's no joke. It's definitely a good goal to set, especially if it's not something that you're currently doing.
Heck yeah. And would be like, that's a solid, what's the word I'm looking for? Challenge that you could take on and that's very attainable, that you could definitely get done. You know, whether it's 3 days a week, 5 days a week, however many days a week you want. But that'd be a great starting place for somebody that wanted to start bettering themselves in fitness. Maybe that doesn't have a lot of background in it and isn't going to have a lot of time. Or hell, if you have a lot of background and not a lot of time, get walking. You're going to feel better when you do. Let's talk about nutrition a little bit. And I always, man, this is like my favorite time of year, because I get to look up healthy recipes for things that normally wouldn't be that healthy. And all it is really, I think, is the quality of ingredient. Like there's a lot of holiday recipes out there that call for an incredible amount of sugar, whatever it is. Well, man, we live in 2023 now. There are so many options out there for healthy versions of your favorite, you know, whether it's a snack or dessert or main course. I would highly recommend checking out. Pinterest has just loads and loads of recipes that you can do and check out. So
I lean heavily on Pinterest.
Yeah, I do too, man. I do too. They have awesome, awesome stuff. And I haven't been done wrong by them yet. Like everything I've made that's been on there has tasted outstanding.
Yep. Yeah, so something that I do at holiday gatherings, because I'm definitely a foodie. Like I love going out to eat and experiencing good food. Like flavor, if I sit down at a restaurant, like it's hard for me to order healthy off of menu. Like I'm going for, like, you know, what looks like it's going to taste the best. But you know, with that in mind, like, you know, I also have, you know, fitness goals. So like I try to do better than, you know, maybe before I knew enough about the subject of nutrition. I do better than I did then. And so like one of the things that that I do, and this goes for even Texas Roadhouse, because, you know, they bring all the rolls out of Texas Roadhouse, but like a lot of the real like starchy carbohydrates are like my favorite foods at Thanksgiving. I love the sweet potato pie. I love the mac and cheese. I love the bread or the rolls. Like those are my favorite things. So what I tend to do is to just make it easier on myself and a little bit less regret is fill your plate up with protein first, and then don't say no to any of the foods that you want. Just eat protein first. It's going to satiate you a little bit. You know, you're at least like getting closer to your protein goal. You're not like, you know, totally filling up on bread before you even have a chance to eat any. So fill it up with protein and vegetables first. And especially vegetables. I'm bad about vegetables. So like even if you eat vegetables first, then protein, and then eat whatever you want after that. Like don't feel guilty for eating the foods that you love on holidays. Like one day is not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. Like in the long run, if we're looking at big picture here, and you eat whatever you want to eat on Thanksgiving and on Christmas and New Year's, even throw that into the mix, like that's not going to affect anything as far as long-term fitness goals at all.
No,
so
not at all.
Just be smart about it.
Yeah, those are great tips. Focusing on that protein first. getting some good veggies in, and then by all means enjoy the rest. You've covered the bases. You've got your priorities knocked out. You checked the
Mhm.
boxes. Go enjoy the holiday. That way you are, bulletproof when it comes to staying on track, still enjoying yourself, and getting to take part in the family activities and not being a weirdo that sits over in the corner and has your own grilled chicken and veggies prepared in your to-go
Yeah.
containers. Which that's just not me. So
It could sweet potato
oh yeah.
casserole at Christmas, but if I start to fill up a little bit on maybe some ham or chicken or turkey first, um, I'm much less likely to overindulge.
Yep. I'm the same way, man. It's like my eyes are always bigger than my stomach. And so if I sit there and get the,
For
my
sure.
protein and and good stuff and I eat it, and if that other stuff still looks good after and I still want it, cool, let's go get it. But like 90% of the time I eat the
Mm.
good stuff and my body says we're full. No need for that, or maybe just a bite or two.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of that's where I've kind of
Yep.
sat for a long time now. I'm not huge on sweets, but I definitely have my times where something's real good, I will just eat the whole thing.
Yep.
Um, no, man, holidays are tough. It's a hard time to stay on track. It's a stressful time for many reasons beyond just eating and working out, like families,
Yeah. No kidding.
functionality. There's all kinds of things thrown in the mix. So we get it. We know everyone's going through probably a little bit of stress with the holidays, but hopefully it is full of a lot more joy and happiness than stress. And, this wasn't a long episode, but man, these tips they've worked for decades, forever. These are things that have been around for a long
Mm-hmm.
time. Really, being real with yourself on your goal setting for this time of year when it comes to your fitness, your nutrition, making wise decisions and being accountable to yourself when you're out at family gatherings, when it comes to food. And man, alcohol is something we didn't talk about, but drinking is always something that
Oh
happens
yeah.
heavily over the holidays. And we are not fun haters. So we definitely indulge in a few drinks every now and then. And my biggest thing is I just try and mix water in the mix. Mix water in the mix. Wow. Yeah, throw
Mm-hmm.
water in the mix is what I meant to say. But, I'll have a drink or two. I'll have some water. I'll have a drink or two. I'll have some water. And to be totally transparent again, I could have 5 or 6 drinks and no water as well. But after that 6th drink, I'm going, okay, dude, you've got to stop and only drink water from here on out. And it really does just help your body process it.
Mm-hmm.
And I found some like supplements, if you will, little pills. They're called No Days Wasted, and they help your body break down the alcohol in your system that helps prevent a hangover. So if you guys are, anticipating drinking throughout the holiday season, and especially if it's not normal for you, I highly recommend those pills. They're not cheap, but damn, do they work. Um, but yeah, I would just keep the alcohol in check. It's definitely, if you have weight loss goals or goals of putting on muscle, the booze is not going to help anything. It's definitely going to hinder all goals, but it will make for a fun time every now and then.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you brought that up because, um, yeah, alcohol it sneaks up on you calorie wise,
Oh yeah,
and then it doesn't help in recovery in any way, shape, or form. Um, it only hinders recovery every single time, as little as one drink. So, um, you know, indulge with care, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. Man, I'm at the point now where I can't even, drinking messes me up the next day so bad. I could have 3 beers and not even feel a buzz, and I feel crappy the next day. So I just kind of stay away from it nowadays and
Mm-hmm.
feel a lot better. But that's just not realistic for everybody either. So, um, And truth be told, I'll definitely have a drink or two at some point throughout the holidays. I'll just have to be peer pressured by my brother, most likely. Guys, I hope the tips helped. Hope you guys are having a great start to November. Guys, we're getting closer to that NFR. We are going to be live recording at Resorts World in the BFO tent. That is official. So if you guys are in Vegas, we'll have a schedule coming up shortly on when we'll be live recording there and broadcasting. Would love to have you guys come in, check out the show. Maybe we'll take some questions from the audience, but I am fired up about it. So put that on your calendars if you're going to be in Vegas. Definitely come see us over there at Resorts World, HOOEY BFO tent. There's going to be a convention as well there. So shopping will be available as well. So come get some drinks, come shop, come listen to us jibber jabber, make fun of Logan. It's going to be an awesome 10 days. Cannot wait. But until next time, guys, we'll catch you later. Second, we got to thank our sponsors. Beastmaster, been with us since day one. Man, they have got some sick stuff going on. We've talked about the new cowboy boots. They've got some new things coming down the pipe here in 2024. Cannot wait to release to you guys. Check them out, beastmasterrodeo.com. Champion Living is the discount code, all one word and uppercase. And HOOEY Brands. Guys, we've talked about their hoodies. Their whole fall line is dope. We will be rocking HOOEY throughout the entire NFR and obviously beyond. Use our discount code, Champion Living, all one word, caps lock. Oh, nope, not case sensitive there. Gonna save you 10% at getyourhooey.com. This time for real. Until next time.